guys, I said it in the exhibition. The thing I like about this team is that, we really share the basketball, but our pacing is incredible. And you know what? When you look at the stat sheet, you know that you've got a good team when everybody can contribute and nobody gets the credit for doing it. And I gotta be happy. I gotta be honest with you. I'm happy with the way that we played, especially in the first half. As you guys know, it's tough, obviously, to play with a big lead and to stay the course. I thought we did some great things. We had 17 assists on 41 made field goals. If I had to take something negative out of the game, I think we got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. And a lot of that came from the second unit. When you look at that second unit, it's their first time playing a home game with a crowd, as in a real game, and I thought we got a little careless with the basketball.
I know it's press and getting people's faces, but the half-court defense seemed to be really on point early tonight. Was that an extra emphasis for these guys, or is that something that having so many guys that know the system now that makes that easier for them?
Well, I think a combination of both, Dan. We're doing a good job of getting our hands on balls. For the game, we have 43 deflections. I think with a veteran group, we're talking more. And that helps us a lot where there's not a lot of breakdowns in half court. But you're right, we've worked a long time as far as becoming a very good half court defensive team. Obviously, I think everybody knows that what we're capable of full court, but we want to be a better half court defensive team.
Yeah, Coach, last game it was Jaquil Richmond who kind of came out of nowhere and scored a bunch of points, but this game was Ambrose Mosley. To get some comments on his performance tonight.
Well, he was great, and that's the guy that we expected. That's the guy that we recruited. We knew that he could knock down shots, and I'm happy for him to see the ball go in the hole. But he was big tonight. He stepped up. How many did he have?
16.
He was 4 for 6 from 3, and that's what he can do. I mean, he can really shoot the basketball, and for us, that's a big lift for us.
A month ago when we had media day, he was still trying to get his legs under him. He felt like it seemed like his legs were perfectly fine. How much has he advanced in the last month for you?
Well, I've told him from the day he got here, I said, when you get in great shape, then you'll be able to knock those shots down. And he hasn't been in great shape, obviously, until probably about a week ago. And he's still got a little ways to go, but he's starting to get there, and he's feeling his legs. And, he's hitting a big rim right now, and I love it.
2 games in the season if you count the exhibition, and you said earlier today that about 40 deflections a game is what you guys want. You've met that goal now twice. Is that a good sign that this early in the season you're meeting that goal like you want to?
Yeah, it's a great sign because in those 2 games we've had 88 deflections, and we go into the game trying to get 40, and that's a barometer for me to see how hard we're playing on the defensive end. I look at it at halftime, and in this game we had 23 at the half, and we're on pace. So we try to get a deflection per minute, and that shows me that we're playing hard on the defensive end.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the moment in the second half when the defense gave up a couple of points, pretty quickly back-to-back baskets. You called the timeout, you watched the middle of the floor, and just kind of stared at it for a second. What did you tell them there?
Well, I just, I didn't want to. When you get a big lead, you got to learn how to play. As a good basketball team, you got to learn how to play with a big lead, and you got to learn how to play when you're down a little bit. And for those guys, I felt like we turned the ball over a little bit. I've got to do a better job with our younger guys and our new guys, because obviously, on Monday it'll be a different story. You're on the road, and I thought our new guys, our young guys, played tight. I thought our veterans were good. I never worried about Ambrose Mosley, even though he's a new guy, but he's a 5th-year guy. But when you look at Jaquil, when you look at Jalen Fornes, when you look at Matt, when you look at all of those guys, they played really tight tonight. And certainly I don't want those guys to play tight. I want them to play loose.
You just talked about the road. 2 Division II teams at home, and now it's guys that are getting a little more. They're Division I guys. How do you adapt this group to that first road game?
Well, I think as I said before, I don't worry about our older guys. When you look at over the course of the last couple of years, we played plenty true road games, and I think our older guys will be fine. But what we got to do is we got to get in there. We got to take the film tomorrow. It's not a lot that you can do on the court after playing a late game, and really work on the things and look at the mistakes that we made and be able to mature from it in a short amount of time. And I think it's more our younger guys and our veterans.